Through our hidden surveillance cameras, you and I are about to witness real, unscripted drama, documenting the pure heartbreak caused by a cheating partner's betrayal. This private investigation show stands with the loyal, confronting the dishonest, hoping to spark a little honesty and moral renewal. Coming up on tonight's episode, a devastated woman watches her man kissing a total stranger. A shocking confrontation reveals a hidden 9-year marriage to an unsuspecting mistress. Excuses fly as the real reality television unfolds. All brought to you by our dedicated team of private investigators, only on Cheaters. Host Peter Pinky kicks things off, promising intense drama on tonight's explosive cheating investigation.
Meet Jasmine Washington,
A young woman deeply suspicious of her boyfriend's recent shady behavior. Terrified of experiencing another massive heartbreak, Jasmine finally gathers the courage to contact our agency. She recalls meeting her boyfriend Quincy at a nightclub. He spotted her from across the crowded room and confidently made his approach. Jasmine remembers being instantly drawn in by his charming eyes and warm smile. She figured, why not? Especially since he introduced himself so respectfully. He asked her on a date, taking her to a fancy downtown restaurant the very next evening. The chemistry between them felt completely undeniable, leading Jasmine to fall deeply in love. She firmly believes Quincy loves her too, as he constantly reassures her. They exchanged those 3 big words just a month before their 1-year anniversary approached. But there is one crucial relationship milestone they have entirely avoided. They have never spent the night together. Jasmine feels confused, assuming they were on the exact same page. She wonders why they haven't moved in together if they truly love each other. Quincy Morgan, a 28-year-old insurance salesman, is accused of bundling more than just auto policies. Our Cheaters detectives set up a surveillance perimeter around the suspect's home for several hours. Our field investigators finally catch a glimpse of the suspect exiting his residence, accompanied by an unidentified female and 2 dogs. After safely loading up their precious canine cargo, the pair drives off. Agents closely tail the suspect's vehicle for a few miles, until reaching a public park. Detectives observe the couple taking their 4-legged companions out for some much-needed afternoon exercise. Jasmine feels that his distant behavior makes 0 sense. He refuses to take their relationship to the next level, leaving her desperate to uncover why everything is suddenly falling apart. Things started crumbling the second she wanted to take a serious step. She wants more than just being the casual girlfriend he occasionally visits. While their dogs catch a breather, Suspect Morgan and his mystery companion get cozy. They intimately entangle themselves and barely come up for air. Now exhausted from their romantic activity, the cheating couple lazily strolls to the vehicle. He plants one final kiss on her before driving off, leading our team on a brief pursuit. The group arrives back at the suspect's house, where Morgan, his female friend, and their pooches remain hidden inside for the entire night. If she gets the chance to confront Quincy about his suspected infidelity, Jasmine admits she would absolutely lose her temper. She confesses she would probably slap the absolute crap out of him. Furious, she wonders how he could betray her after she shared all her valuable time, love, and deepest personal secrets. After surviving past heartbreak, it kills her to see him doing the exact same deceitful thing. Let's watch together as our operatives guard the house. They spot Morgan and the companion, now identified as his legal spouse. Her name is Judy Morgan. Quincy opens the door for his wife, and they share a tender smooch before driving away. Let's follow the operatives as they track the couple to a local superstore. Heading inside, Morgan shows his affection, gently rubbing his partner's shoulders for everyone to see. With their romance out in the open, the two vanish through the doors. Eventually, the suspect and his date reappear. They load up the car and leave the lot, driving straight back to their place. Morgan and his date grab their groceries, heading inside to settle down for the rest of the night. The suspect and his companion step outside, both loaded down with heavy bags. Morgan packs the trunk before speeding off. The investigators tail the sedan as it speeds down the busy interstate. The couple finally pulls into an international airport. Quincy and his partner look absolutely thrilled as they stroll out of long-term parking. Cameras catch the lovebirds heading into the terminal, ready to jet off on a romantic getaway. With Morgan's hidden life fully exposed, the private eyes head back to headquarters to debrief. Right after the break, the confrontation. Now we see Quincy's double life. The investigator contacts Jasmine to share the disturbing facts, eager to put her mind at rest. Jasmine braces herself for the harsh truth about his shady behind-the-scenes behavior. Jasmine, what's up, love? How are you? I'm all right. You good? I'm good. Ah, that is what I want to hear. So you contacted us. I put my best investigators right on it. We followed up on those leads, and we found some things. Are you ready to check it out? Yeah, let's do it. All right then, let's go. So, day one of checking things out. He walks out the house with this young lady. He gets in the car. We're following them. They post up and eventually arrive at a local park. Okay, now this is exactly where things get a little, funny. They pull out 2 dogs. Wait, does he even have a dog? No, he told me he was allergic to dogs. Well, clearly he has a dog. She has a dog too, and unfortunately, right about... Bang! They kiss. Wow, what a bitch ass! I really wanted to say that was his sister or cousin. I was hoping for the best because he held the door, but on this next day of the investigation, he comes out once again. This time he plays the gentleman, opens the door for her, and they leave. We stay on them because this is what we do best. They arrive at a supercenter. He gets out the car and acts like, playfully, you know, just like any other. Hold on, we're going shopping together. Are you sure you're good? I'm good. I don't want you crying love. I really don't. That is not what this is here for. This is for you to get closure, so you know you aren't stupid, and you're not a fool. So right about here is where we capture this phone conversation. And I want you to pay very close attention to this call. Finally, I have been trying to reach you all day long. It ain't nothing, man. I'm just up here at the office, you know, been working. Working hard. The boss is kind of riding me, that's all. So I was thinking about tonight, you know, after you finally get off, well, you should come by. I can cook you your absolute favorite dinner tonight. I really couldn't. Today, you and I are watching a total disaster. He claimed work had him overwhelmed after COVID. He insisted everyone was working late, telling his girlfriend he had to stay at the office too. He promised to call her back later, suddenly whispering that his boss had just walked in. The investigator paused, asking if she recognized those recorded voices. She immediately realized he was with another woman when she called. The cameras caught them grocery shopping together. He had boldly lied about his boss being there. He claimed to be worried about the virus, yet he was kissing a stranger without a mask. His health concerns were clearly fake, since he wore no mask around this woman. The host pointed out the hypocrisy of him kissing a stranger while blaming COVID. The surveillance team simply kept following their usual routine. The cheating couple returned to his place, a home Jasmine had never even visited. The investigator addressed her gently, asking if he could call her Jazz. You and I know the drill. The surveillance team was on them. He offered her a chance to confront them immediately. She could just walk away. It was her choice. Jasmine made her decision quickly. She wanted to pull up, and the crew followed. He asked if she recognized this place. She nodded in disgust. It was where they met. The audacity shocked her. He had boldly brought his side piece to their special spot. The team parked the van, and they headed inside. Tensions were running high. He panicked, begging to speak with Jasmine while waving off the crew. The other woman shouted angrily, demanding to know who Jasmine was. The host calmly informed her that Jasmine was his actual girlfriend. Chaos erupted as the furious women clashed over the cameras. The argument rapidly devolved into a chaotic shouting match. She shrieked repeatedly, mocking the other woman in an absolute frenzy. The bizarre insult echoed through the club as she refused to stop yelling it. She just kept endlessly screaming. The confrontation spiraled completely out of control as the wild insults kept flying. The public chaos simply continued. Let's watch this wild conclusion. The scene cut back to the club where they met. She was his wife. Furious about the production cameras, his actual wife screamed at him for having a mistress. He desperately tried to tell the host to back off, but the damage was done. He panicked, begging his wife to wait and listen. The situation devolved into total madness as everyone started shouting over each other outside. The cornered man kept trying to defend himself, but his excuses were completely drowned out. He desperately continued shouting back. Nobody was listening anymore. The street confrontation was absolute madness. She realized she was completely played. That other woman was his actual wife. She brought up his married wife. Someone demanded that he go home and just calm down. But the other person simply didn't care about that. They shoved him away, daring the absolute coward to do something. The screaming escalated quickly as frantic cries for help echoed around. Taunts flew wildly back and forth while the chaotic drama kept escalating. Then came the ultimate question. How long had this lasted? She quickly pointed out that he lived right under her roof. He had been lying on the phone, and she absolutely refused to accept any more pathetic excuses from him. She swore to handle him herself, since they lived together, then turned away to make an incredibly angry exit. The street argument spilled forward as everyone desperately tried keeping up. They realized he was stepping out on their shared home. The bombshell dropped. Married 9 years, but cheating for 1. Total shock registered as they demanded to know what exactly happened. He desperately swore on his mother to defend his innocence, but she knew he was playing games and ruining her entire life. The chaos almost turned violent before bystanders loudly yelled to hold on. Angry death threats started flying. Stick with me here because honestly, nobody could figure out what was happening. Brutal insults were hurled as the reality of his massive betrayal hit. He arrogantly tried claiming that both of the women belonged to him. Then Cheaters host Peter Guns officially stepped right into the chaotic scene. Peter immediately called the husband out for acting like a cowardly cheater. Emotions were running incredibly high, but Peter forced everyone to stop and listen. He calmly pulled the aggressive husband over to the side. He firmly warned him that all this extra aggression simply wasn't helping. He demanded his full, undivided attention. Peter admitted he fully understood exactly what the guy was experiencing. The husband finally acknowledged his wife, but he aggressively demanded to know what everyone else knew. They forced him to confirm the marriage. The host stepped in. Now you and I are about to get to the absolute bottom of this cheating scandal. The mistress asked who she was, only to discover it was the actual wife. The painful truth echoed loudly. They had been married 9 years. Peter ordered the cheating husband to confess. The husband reluctantly admitted to his side piece that it was his wife. A 9-year marriage completely exposed. The mistress was completely devastated, realizing she was treated like a nobody. She cried that he visited her daily, refusing to be dismissed as just another meaningless nobody. He just brushed it off as a mistake. He cowardly claimed that everybody messes up, completely downplaying his massive daily acts of infidelity. The intense interrogation continued as they pressed him on how long the affair had lasted. Realizing the conversation was stalling out, someone asked where he was escaping to. They questioned where he was going tonight. Bystanders joked that he was just heading right back to his 1-year side chick. We know he's getting divorce papers. The angry man swore he would get those legal papers. He shouted back, promising the other guy would be served. He aggressively kept telling the guy to go to his girl. He insisted that was the real problem. He demanded he open the door and return to her repeatedly. He quickly denied that anyone was going home. Let's break this down together. He called the guy a mistake right to his face before storming off. Unbelievable. Someone demanded the truth, noting he claimed he went home angry from the club. She complained he never spent nights with her, preferring the other woman. He swore to the heavens the other woman had absolutely nothing on him. Assuring Jazz he would get served, someone mockingly thanked her and said goodbye. They dismissed Jazz completely, turning around to loudly ask who was single. Someone wanted to party, while another yelled to lose his number and repeatedly demanded everyone just relax. They enthusiastically asked who was trying to hang out tonight, challenging the group. Claiming they needed another person to hang out, the man aggressively insisted he was not the enemy. He repeated he was not the enemy, begging the chaotic crowd to hear him out. Multiple defensive voices chimed in, each angrily claiming they had already done their part. Why was he being treated like an enemy? He threatened that if treated badly, he would completely ruin the guy's year. He swore he would dominate the year in that spot. He insisted everyone knew the truth. He stated he was just working. His angry wife left with another. A bystander didn't blame her at all, sending a shout-out to brand new relationships. They yelled that the pandemic had absolutely nothing on this wild drama. He offered to double whatever the show paid them, just to get out of his face with her. He then aggressively insulted Peter Gunz, loudly asking how the crew would handle it. He kept throwing weak insults, trying to salvage his bruised ego. After the tense confrontation, Jasmine fought through the lingering pain of that massive gut punch. Stick with us as Cheaters reveals her next direction. But first, the show welcomed back Desmond, the main suspect from the Russell investigation. Desmond briefly described how getting publicly exposed on national television has completely altered his life forever. He admitted that when she suddenly rolled up on him, he felt extremely and genuinely surprised. He never thought she would do that since she seemed totally self-absorbed. He claimed she posted a different half-naked selfie every single day. He had begged her a long time ago to stop taking those half-naked photos. Since Nicole completely refused to stop, he simply decided to look elsewhere. He explained he traveled to New York because he had already known that other woman for roughly 9 or 10 years. The host politely asked how they were doing. The shocked man aggressively demanded to know who was interrupting his evening. You and I can see his panic. He yelled to get hands off him, pointing angrily at a crew member. He told her not to worry. She violently demanded answers. The chaos escalated as she demanded to know who the stranger was. The other woman offered a dismissive hello. Profanities flew as the girlfriend demanded her identity. The other woman stood her ground, repeatedly declaring that she was the main one in his life now. She claimed her territory loudly, warning the girlfriend to back off. Physical threats were exchanged as both women fought to dominate the intense verbal showdown. Later, the cheating boyfriend confessed he strayed because of Nicole's immaturity. He cruelly mentioned her infertility issues. He explained that his side piece, New York, was just much more relaxed. She wasn't nearly as high-strung as the younger girls. He claimed New York loved him unconditionally, while Nicole remained completely selfish. However, New York had recently given him an ultimatum about being the secret lover. Let's watch what happened when the cheater's camera crew rolled up that night. He had planned to sit down and break the bad news to Nicole himself. He intended to end the relationship, but ironically, he felt totally relieved. Nicole ambushed him first. The explosive confrontation ignited as she viciously mocked his clothes and appearance, reminding him that she paid for everything he had on his back. He fiercely ordered her to step back. He tried deflecting the blame, telling Nicole to mind her own business. Tempers flared as harsh warnings were aggressively traded back and forth. They shoved each other fiercely, arguing over who really had the claim to the defiant other woman standing nearby. The other woman ruthlessly dismissed Nicole, brutally claiming that Nicole was failing to satisfy her man, which caused all this messy infidelity. Disgusted by the whole spectacle, Nicole finally told them they deserved each other. Nicole mocked her rival's ridiculous nickname, laughing at the sheer absurdity of calling herself New York, when she clearly had absolutely zero connection to the city. The chaotic insults turned painfully petty, with jabs flying about basic intelligence, while the suspect sarcastically admitted his own foolishness. Following the disastrous street confrontation, the cheating boyfriend revealed his mistress had temporarily left him, demanding he completely resolve his messy relationship status first. She promised to be waiting for him once he finally managed to cut ties with his furious long-term girlfriend. Caught in the wreckage of his own making, he admitted missing both women while aimlessly going through the motions. Still, he maintained a strangely upbeat attitude, fully ready to keep moving forward. Whether he ended up with someone or completely alone, life continued. He reflected on wise advice passed down from his grandfather. The lesson was simple. Playing with someone's feelings is bad, but toying with their deep emotions is far more dangerous, because deep betrayal creates lasting hatred. We're watching a deeply stunned Jasmine Washington attempt to move past the painful reality. Pushing past the intense betrayal, a highly reflective Jasmine admits a painful truth. She sensed the terrible infidelity early on, but wrongly blamed her own trust issues. Meanwhile, an unapologetic Quincy Morgan shows absolutely zero remorse for his manipulative deception. He brushes off the shocking affair as a fleeting mistake that doesn't define his character. Quincy seems entirely focused on saving his 9-year marriage, publicly begging for one final chance. He desperately promises Judy that his loyalty belongs to her and her alone. Judy Morgan stands firm, refusing to forgive her soon-to-be ex-husband. As for her explosive behavior during the wild confrontation, Judy claims vengeance was completely justified. She threw his dirty infidelity right back in his face, and she enjoyed every second. Always remember, cheating is a crime, even when nobody's watching. As always, ensure you get your television programming straight from Goldstein's. Otherwise, everyone ends up losing money.